Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Hello, Instagram world. Hello, YouTube world. My name is Daisy Love, but I have to say, I'm saying that my name is Daisy Love, but just the other day, someone commented on my Instagram page. Actually, they said, Rebecca, yes, it's me. I think it's so funny. I just prefer to be called Daisy. I've been calling myself like this for maybe the last 6, 7 years. I was really trying to find a name that I felt that really, portrayed who I was as a person. And I like Daisy, Daisy for flowers and everything. So thank you so much for everyone who is going to be here with me. And thank you so much for everyone who is going to come back and listen to this particular live. If you are a familiar of my work, you know that in the past 2.5 years, I've been running a coaching and a mentorship program, and you know that usually I come on live and I discuss a couple of topics that I felt that are extremely important for professional people, people that are either in business, people that are coming out of school and are looking for work opportunities, people that are starting their career. So this year, if you guys are aware, we are starting our coaching and our mentorship program on March 18th, 2024. And the onboarding of the program is going to begin on March 11th. If you want to join, if you want to sign up, you are very much welcome to do so. It is a 6 weeks programs where we are discussing various subjects. We are talking about the art of transmission. We are talking about, how to navigate through creativity. We are talking about social media platform. It's a rich program. It's a program that you really want to be a part of it if you are struggling to either stay motivated, to stay creative, or if you are really struggling with your career, especially as an entrepreneur or in the creative field. All right. So, what brings me here today? For today, I am going to open up and I am going to be discussing a very important topic, which is how to utilize your social media platform. This article is also going to be available for people who are going to participate in the program. And if you cannot participate in the program, but you really want to have access to some of our resources, you can also shoot us an email over at youthagencyinternational@gmail.com, and I can definitely provide some resources to you as well. Okay. For the past month or so, I've been seeing how social media has definitely changed. I've been on social media for over 10 years. I've been on social media, probably I started in 2014. When I started social media, it was just a platform. Back then, we had access to Facebook and we also had access to Instagram, and there were no ads, there were no pay, there were very little of that. Social media was just around the time where I actually started to work on social media. It was just like still very much so a platform for communicating with other people. It was a platform to connect with family members, with friends, people that you haven't seen in a long time. So that's really what social media was. Around the time that I started social media, I really had just came back home to IT, and I just felt that people really needed to be aware of everything that was going on here in Haiti, whether it was on the political front, whether it was in the social front, but also I really wanted to connect with my peers who were living outside of Haiti, and I wanted to let them know that, hey, you know what? Haiti has actually a lot of opportunities. So I started not only before I opened my YouTube page, Daisy Love 83, I was actually on Facebook, and I had a page where I posted a lot about IT. I posted about, places that I visit, ancient place, and the page grew within a week. Within a week, I was over at 1,500 people, which for me at the time was pretty big. Needless to say that in 2024, nearly 10 years, social media has not only extended, but social media has taken a very, very, very just a space for itself. And today, people work on social media. People are social media influencers. People have access to TikTok. People have access. Everybody has a voice these days. Now, would I recommend for people to be on social media in 2024? I would say this much. I would recommend for someone to be on social media, but these days I would actually recommend that if you are a business owner, if you are a creative, if you have an organization, if you have a school and you really want to utilize social media platform, I would most definitely recommend that you familiarize yourself with social media because it has changed drastically. And one of the reasons that social media has changed drastically is because almost everyone is on social media. And whereas probably even 5, 6 years ago, people could join social media and you could actually grow your business, you could actually, just have a surge of clients, you could grow your organization. These days, it's actually very, very tricky. I found that these days, if you are going to be on social media, you need to familiarize yourself with the way that people can invade your privacy, steal your work, steal your identity, hack your pages. These are very, very important factor. So whereas probably even the last 3 years when I started the coaching and the mentorship program, I would always counsel my students to be online, have a presence online to make sure that people know their work. But as of probably the last 2 years, I would actually recommend that you familiarize yourself with social media because it has changed, such as, let's just say that you are someone who has a product. You need to be aware of how you are not only going to market your product, but how you are going to make sure that you have some type of visibility. The reason that I say so is because it fluctuates, and you can get extremely overwhelmed. Facebook is no longer the place that it used to be. Back in the days when we joined Facebook, it was just Facebook, but these days everyone is on Facebook. And one thing with people who actually are working on social media is that a lot of time these people have access to 2 to 3 devices. The reasons behind it is like they may be filming and going live on one device for one social media platform, and they may be going live on a second device for a second platform, meaning that maybe they are live on Facebook, they are live on TikTok, they are live on Instagram. It can be pretty overwhelming for someone who is either new or for someone who is just getting into social media, for someone who doesn't have any following. It can get very intimidating and it can get pretty alarming. However, how do I keep myself on social media? Obviously, here with my youth agency account, it's a brand new account. I lost my former account last 2 years ago and I haven't reopened it since then. So I decided to only work from my both of my social media platform here on Instagram. And my presence online is not necessarily what it used to be, especially here for this page. I'm just now restarting back, right? I find that you need to figure out, for example, where your people are, right? If you are going to be on social media, you need to have clear goals as far as like why are you opening up your social media. Your social media could be open for various reasons. It can be open because you actually have something to share. It can be open because you have a lot of creative work that you want to share with people. So not necessarily that you are going to convey a message, but it could just be that you have painting that you do. Maybe you have, a type of artwork. Maybe you are dancing, and you can have various social media account for various things. But the very first thing that I find that we need to learn how to do is to know, okay, what is the goal and the objective of me opening up a social media? It's going to help you to maneuver. It's going to help you to have a little bit clear idea, because now the people who are following you, when they follow you on a particular account, they will know the reason behind that they are following you on that particular account. Capiche? Meaning, I am a business consultant for my country, and I have a social media account for that. I have a YouTube account that is strictly dedicated to work that I do here in my country. And I also have a social media account where I am very creative. This is where I dance. This is where I post a lot of my creative endeavors, right? It's very important because you don't want to confuse people who are following you. You know, some people, they may just be interested into one particular areas of your life, and they may not be not necessarily be interested in the other particular area of your life. So as you are deciding that you want to join social media, you have to identify the reason behind it, right? Excuse me, I have a cold. Now, the second thing that I find is to figure out as you're on social media, um when people are usually on social media. I have a TikTok account, and I find that around 6 p.m. is the time that the people who are following me are there. 6 p.m., sometimes very, very late at night. And also around the weekend, they change. It varies also. It's very important. Why? Because you actually want to post, when you post content, whether it is that you're going live, whether it is that it's a video, whether it is that it's a picture, whether it is that now with Instagram that it's thread, you actually really want to make sure that when you are online, when you are posted, that people are seeing. You want to have that visibility because you want people to see the work that you're doing. You want people to have access to the information that you're posting. You want people to purchase your merch. So you really want to figure out the time frame that people are actually on social media. And you're going to do so by going into your, either you can go into your analytics, which is going to also show you kind of like your demographic, right? It's just talking about it, about social media is just taking me aback just to see how everything has changed. And these days, for people like myself who've been on it for quite a long time, it's just like everything, you literally have to know the ins and outs of social media if you want to have access to your visibility, and you want people to be able to see the work that you're doing. You want people to actually be able to hear the message also. So that's the other thing. The analytics are usually going to give you the demographic, right, of your followers, such as their age group, such as, the time, like you can see when more people are actually watching you, when less people are watching you. So like this, you can decide, for example, if more people are watching you between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., this is the time for you that you actually really want to go online. If more people are watching you in the morning, this is the time. Now, there are people who have very, very large following. There are people who are, kind of like celebrities. So it really doesn't matter when they go live. As soon as they go live, like necessarily many people are going to follow them because they have a lot of followers. They have a lot of visibility, and also their engagement, which is very important. Your engagement on social media. What is the engagement? Is how you engage with people, such as, let's just say, if you work in a particular field, you actually talk well to your colleagues, right? So when you are here on social media, there's also the engagement. There's also when you post a picture, when you post a video, how people are replying, how you are engaging with them. The engagement helps for your platform to also have a little bit more visibility. So as you are joining social media, I find that you have to kind of like want to know, okay, which platform do I join? These days, I say that it depends. It, like I said, it can get overwhelmed, but you could decide that you want to join TikTok. You could decide that you want to join Facebook, because a lot of times, like, there are various people in different platform. I still find that Facebook may be a platform for older people. It may be a platform dedicated mainly to, kind of like families. It may still have that. However, the great thing about Facebook is that I find that if you have a business, if you are doing something, you will be surprised that Facebook might be the space for you. The reason behind it is because people who are on Facebook know you, right? A lot of times people who follow us on TikTok, they don't really necessarily know us. They are not our friends. They are not people that we went to school with, people that we actually know, people that, we went to work with, professional contact. Whereas people who follow you on Facebook, because you actually still need to request, and Facebook is not really unless you have a public page, people have to you have you they have to send out a request, and you have to accept the request, correct? So because of that, what you find is that if you decide to launch a product, if you decide to launch a business, or if you decide to open something, people may follow you and may engage a lot more on your Facebook platform because they know you. Although I closed down my Facebook account, I find that it's very important for, if you have a Facebook account, to still have it, to still keep it, because people actually really they know you, right? They know you. Those are people who've been following you probably for quite a long time, because Facebook have been there for a long time. They are people who are aware of your work, so they're going to follow you. YouTube also has that longevity with it. If you've been on YouTube, for example, I've been on YouTube since 2015 to late 2014, 2015. And it's a pretty long time, almost 10 years. That means that if you have such a long journey on a platform, people have gotten to know you. People have gotten to know your journey. So people are going to support you. You have people who've been watching you for 5, 6, 7 years. You have people who remember you. You have people who remember when you started. You have people who remember, who were watching you when you probably didn't even have those equipment. They have been here with you for the long run. They have been here with you for the journey. So, with that being said, YouTube is also a great platform where you want to actually build on a community. YouTube is an amazing platform when you can grow your community, where people are actually really going to support you because they've been watching you for a very, very long time. TikTok, I find that is different because it can take off in a heartbeat. So with TikTok, in my opinion, I feel like you just need to have the engagement. You just need to make sure that people are interested in what you have to offer. So you have to keep their attention there, which is sometimes a little bit I wouldn't say tricky, but these days people have very short attention span. So if you're going to be on TikTok, you need to have the consistency. Very much so. You're going to have the consistency. And you also want to make sure that whatever it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you're sharing with people, that they are engaged, because TikTok is fast. Like, people's attention span is very short. It takes for a particular individual to definitely be able to keep the attention with them, to have someone, let's say that you go live on TikTok, to have someone stay with you on that line for even 5 to 10 minutes. That means that whatever it is that you're sharing is important, because people's attention span is very, very short, and they have the tendency to scroll. I do it just like everybody else. Like, you just scroll. So unless someone is talking and they are able to catch your attention right then and there as they are presenting, whether it is a product that they are presenting, whether it is that they are dancing, whatever it is that that person, that whatever it is that you're doing, you got to remember that if you are joining a platform like TikTok, and a span to 1 to 2 minutes, you gotta have that ability to keep the person right here on your page, because usually people just are scrolling. People are literally just scrolling. So you got to have the opportunity and the ability to stop that person for 1 minute, just 1 minute. And as you are stopping that person for 1 minute, the next best thing is to actually win the person over so that they are able to stay with you for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. And then after that, you want to have the ability to not only keep the person engaged, but now the person is going from your life that they are in to actually checking out what you have on your page. So your profile, right? That's what it's very important that I find that sometimes people are not aware of. If you have a live, you before you go on live, you need to realize that if you are selling a product, yes, you want people to sell, but you want people to buy from you. But the first thing is that you want people to actually sit and be like, okay, okay, let me hear what that person is saying. And then going from hearing what you have to say to actually go into your profile, right? You want people to like check your profile. What is your profile saying? So this is why it's very important to have a goal, because let's just say that you're going live and you have a product that you're selling, but then the person leaves your live and the person is clicking on your own profile and your product is not figuring out anywhere. Whatever you're talking about, it's not figuring out anywhere and your profile of your TikTok. So that means that that person is lost. You lost a potential client, you lost a potential customer. It's very important to know these things because I myself see it all the time. I see people who go live on a regular and they say that they have products, but when you click off their live and you're trying to figure out what is the product that they have going on, you're completely lost. You have to remember as you're creating your social media platform these days that your social media platform, if you are creating a social media platform, whether it is creative, whether it is a product, whatever it is, it needs to be very professional. Very professional. You don't want to confuse people with what you have going on. It's kind of like it's your portfolio, it's your resume, right? You want your social media to reflect what you have going on. I have seen in the beauty and industry, which I'm not knocking anybody who still wants to do beauty. However, what I will say is that if this is a lane that you are trying to get into, as far as like beauty, you really need to put in the work, because the different these days it's not even like the way that it used to be. The ladies, the young men, they are really putting in the work and the effort. We're talking about effects, we're talking about products, we're talking about, it's just everything is so appealing. So even these days, if you are starting as a beauty influencer, if you want to have deals with companies, if you want to have companies sponsor you, if you it just the work, the level of the work has got to be there. I have seen people starting YouTube, starting Instagram just in a short amount of time and within less than a year, not only gain the visibility that they have, but taking off, meaning branding, brand deals, companies flying them out. And it's all because of the way that their presentation, sometimes the equipment is has to be there. It's just, I'm not going to lie. It's pointless these days to join social media if you don't have decent equipment. It's not the way that it used. You're gonna get lost in the sauce, right? If you have a beauty, whatever it is that you're doing that is in the creative field, you have to put in the investment. It's very, very important that you put in the investment, because this is what's going to differentiate your work. A lot of times there are people who are great beauty influencers. There are people who are great makeup artists, but you would be very surprised at the difference that the quality of a camera makes when people can watch you and it feels like they are watching you in some very sophisticated, and it's just make the quality of the work very, very. So this is why I say, if you're joining social media, first you need to identify your niche. Like, why am I joining social media? If you are a photographer, honey, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work for the best qualities. This is what's going to differentiate you. Social media is very saturated. Am I going to say that it's overly saturated? Not necessarily, if you know the ins and outs. Not necessarily if you can be consistent. Not necessarily necessarily if you understand that you have to put in the work, not necessarily if you are dedicated to what you really want to do, right? So now I am going to read a little bit from this article, excuse me, for you. And let's not forget that when you are participating in the coaching in the mentorship program, you too are going to have access to this article. So let's talk about how to utilize social media. I said that social media is all about communication. It is. It is a platform that you utilize to either showcase a talent, convey a message, um, convey a message, to talk, connect with an audience, and or promote a skill set. Let's rephrase that. Social media is all about communication. It is a platform that you utilize to either showcase a talent, convey a message, connect with an audience, and or promote a skill set. These days, we all have access to one or two forms of social media. You are either a consumer or a producer. Yes, as a social media person, you either consume social media or you either produce. Meaning, when I say that you are either a consumer, hopefully there are no longer people who just sit on social media and that's all you do. That means that you consume. You are literally consuming other people. But as you are consuming other people's content, you too could decide that you want to have something to do. So it's okay, right? You could do that, right? Just as the next person has access to a social media, you as well could decide that you want to have access to social media. So I say, as a consumer, you will find yourself scrolling through others' platform, buying what they have to offer, and or absorbing their content freely. Being a constant consumer will always put you at the end of the stick. You will either spend time or money or constantly feel a certain way because you are comparing your life to others. So there is a downside if you are only going to be a consumer on social media. You are only consuming, you are not producing. So, as a producer, you utilize your platform to connect, excuse me, you utilize your platform to connect with an audience, build possible consumers as well, build your brand, build your own business. Being a producer, you also attract others who are going to want to collaborate with you, invest in you, promote your brand, and participate in your overall platform. So, do you see all the benefit that there is when you decide to have your social media platform, but you decide to be also a producer? I'm going to have some water. Thank you. Ooh, my throat. Social media can also be a source of inspiration as well. You don't always need to be either a consumer or a producer. It could just be that you want to be inspired by other people. I get inspired every day with people that are on social media because as someone who works mainly in the creative field, excuse me, it's very, very important for me to keep myself motivated. And sometimes you do feel down, or it's just kind of like it's blah. But when you see another person who is in the creative field, who is putting in the work, who is being creative, it's actually very inspiring. So I say you can connect with like minded individuals worldwide. You can use it as pure leisure. Absolutely. You don't necessarily need to be a consumer or a producer. Social media could just be somewhere for you to be, to have fun, to just look at what other people have going on, just pure leisure. It could be whatever you choose to make it. Either way, you wish to use your own platform is fine. Either way that you want to use your platform is fine, as long as you are happy with what you are doing. However, tonight we are going to tackle the best way to utilize your social media platform as to turn your talent, your skill into either a business or to attract employees. Excuse me. Forgive me. So, this is what this live is going to be about, where we are going to discuss how we can turn the social media platform and use it to grow our business, right? Number one, presentation. Presentation is everything in this life. Trust me. People judge you based on your presentation. What social media is the same thing. Oh my God. Your social media platform or your blueprint. It is a form of presentation. It says much about who you are. Learn how to have a clean platform, free of drama, free of vulgarities and or profanity. Now, I see so many young people that are mastering this art. You gotta be careful when you are using your social media. Try not to use a lot of profanities. Try not to use a lot of vulgarities. Try not to always be on drama. Babe, I've been on social media for 10 years and I have never and I do not do those drama, right? A lot of times, social media has become almost even more so the way that people are in the work employment. Honey, yes, there is that going on as well when it comes to social media. People feeling a particular way, it's a whole mess. And I've seen so many people get into some type of trouble one way or another, some type of drama with another content creator, some type of, like, oh my God, she did this, he did that. So the best way to do it is to always first, you need to just know why you are online. You need to be very professional with what you're doing and invite people on your social media. But if you are inviting someone on your social media and you recognize or you realize that, hey, you know what? I don't really I'm not vibing with that person, or this is not necessarily the lane that I want to take on my work. It's okay. You don't have to drag them. You don't have to bring out their name in a bad manner. People will judge for themselves. A lot of time, just let things slide through and, babe, keep on moving. So I said, let's define. What are you trying to convey through your page? Do you want it to be personal? Do you want it to be professional? Or do you want it to be creative? Make sure that you center your paths around the pages that you are creating. Keep in mind that having different pages in one or two platforms are fine. Just make sure that each has a specific target audience, which is also something that I really wanted to do. I used to work a lot from my previous page that I had when I opened Instagram, and that was like years ago, and I didn't know all the things that I know now. So as I started to 2 years ago really work online, I just realized that I really want my work to be polished. I want my work to be professional. I was doing much, my Instagram, I opened it back in the days, it was just for myself. So it went from myself to, having my work. So now I decided to differentiate my work. It's just a little bit more clean. Yes, we have less followers, but it's more polished and it's definitely giving me what I need, which is, targeting my right audience, building, a community with like-minded individuals. And I can also present my social media to anyone, right? So I really like it like that. A lot of times I find that people are not understanding that it's not necessarily about the numbers. It's about the quality of the page that you have. It's about what you're putting out. It's about what you want to convey. It's not necessarily about numbers. You could have a social media with less than 100 followers, yet you are able to engage. You are able to sell product. You are able to get brand deals. You are able to grow. It's about how you are doing it. Correct? All right. So I said, if your page is a professional and or creative, try to be consistent with your post. Have a schedule. Let them know what you are working on. Create reels, post videos to keep your page alive. It's very important because when you have a set schedule, people now are, waiting for you. People are waiting to hear what you have to say. People are trying to figure out, your content. They become what? They become consumers of what you have to offer. Excuse me. They become very much consumers of what you have to offer. So it's important for you to have a schedule, to know that, okay, this is when I'm going to post on this page. This is what is going to, you can schedule your posts, you can schedule your reels, if you don't want to really be very overwhelmed with so I said, remember, people are getting a lot of money through their social media. If you can't quite figure it out, invest in marketing pages. Find someone you connect with that can get you to have your visibility in your platforms. Don't sit on something that can turn yourself into a billionaire. This is exactly what we talked about in the beginning. So a lot of times, these days I started my creative YouTube page and I have less than 200 people, and I receive emails constantly for that page. I receive brand deals already for that page, which is really funny. But you're always going to find people who are going to, now that's what they specialize in. They specialize in supporting you. They specialize in helping you. You really have to know the ins and out, because you also want to make sure that these people are not trying to exploit you. You want to make sure that these people are not trying to make money off of you. For me, I find that the best way still today that you can grow your social media and have access to visibility is with connecting with another person, is with probably, having a live going on with someone, is to have some cross work going on where with other people. So now, that person can share some visibility. I've done it a lot in the past. I used to do it, here on Instagram, where we did a lot of live together. Other people had certain things going on their platform, and they invited me on their platform to share. So like this, my visibility definitely grew. So I said that always connect with your audience. People follow you because they want something out of you. Exactly. They enjoy watching you. Okay. They are interested in what you have to offer. They are your audience, potential clients, potential customers. You can build lasting relationship with others. Exactly. People follow you for a reason. Sometimes I am not online, or there are times where it takes me a little bit of time to be online, but I let people know that, hey, this is what I have going on. For example, for my business consultation, I let people know that I am not present these days because I'm actually working on my mentorship program. It's taking a little bit off of my focus. I also have a conversation series that I'm starting. So these are all things that are taking a little bit, because people are following you for a reason. People want to see what you have to say. People want to hear what you have to, what you have to offer. They are there for a reason. So you don't want to let them out. You don't want to let them dry like this. They feel like, why do I follow this page? This page has become a dead page. So you always want to come leave the engagement. And if something is going on in your life and you need some space, you can let your followers know that, hey, this is what I have going on. So this is why I'm not really present. So I said, don't let social media overwhelm you. Have time if needs be. Make sure to create a safe boundaries. Very, very important. And I said, have fun creating your page. It's really not a competition. Absolutely. Listen, for someone who's been on social media for over 10 years, social media has definitely become a very competitive place. However, I say that it's a competitive place only if you let it be. Use your platform as best as you want. Connect with people, avoid the drama, and just have your own goals and objective as far as what you really want to do with it. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This was a first. I am going to do my best to be very dedicated and to come at least once or twice a week where we can discuss a particular subject. Now, if you are interested into the coaching and the mentorship program, do send us an email over at youthagencyinternational@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing many of you, and I will see you possibly next week. Not quite this week. I'll shoot my best for maybe Friday. However, I'm probably sure that we'll see each other next week.